Okay, so it looks like most of you are here. It's 11:04, so I think we can start. As you can hear, Janelle is behind the scenes today. Oh, I'll just start my video. Janelle is behind the scenes today, and she will be answering your questions. I know there is one by Princess, and I can see some familiar names here, and I am happy you have joined today too, and another session. And
we'll start shortly.
We'll start shortly, yeah. How's it going, Janelle?
Good. Do you mind answering Princess's questions?
Yeah, Princess. So you're using a box as your cardstock. So the dimensions, we're actually not using the full paper of the construction paper or cardstock. So it's just to cover the toilet paper roll, the empty one. And we need some more like colored ones for, we're going to be making the flowers and stuff. So it just depends of how many petals and leaves you put on. But yeah, you can use that and you can color it on your box, a green or purple, whatever color you would like. I think a box is sufficient. It's enough for your project today. Thank you for asking that, Princess. All right, so before we start, I want to go through some of the, here, let me spotlight. I'll stop sharing. We're going to go through some of the Zoom features. So at the bottom of your screen, or it could be at the top, depending on your Zoom, depending on if you have it on an iPad or a tablet or a laptop or computer, you will have a bar, a black one that says, for example, Q&A, chat. So those are your two things to type if you have questions, or if I ask you a question, or if Janelle asks you a question and you want to answer it, that's where you can type. If you haven't checked that feature yet, the Q&A and chat, I want you to say hi to Janelle. So type hi, and then she will see it. And that's a good practice for future questions that you might have. Another thing that we're going to be using from Zoom is the polls. So those are questions that will pop up on your screen. Sometimes though, depending again on what you're using, so it could be a laptop, a computer, a tablet, or a phone, it might not pop up. In that case, I will always say the question live because I'm reading it to you, and you can answer it in the chat as well. So just like you've been doing the favorite season, the hi to Janelle, you can also answer the question like that too, if you would like. Again, all this participation interaction is optional, so that means you don't have to do it. If it's easier for you to just leave your camera, your phone there, your laptop there, your tablet, and not type because you're doing many things, that's completely fine. If you raise your hand, I know there is a feature to raise your hand. Please, please, please ask the question on the Q&A or the chat, just because when you raise your hand, we cannot chat with you. You have to start the conversation with us. I wish we could just ask you the question, but if you haven't started a conversation with us in the chat, like if you haven't typed anything, then we cannot ask you the question, or or ask you what's your question. So again, I would like everybody to just say hi really quickly. That way, Janelle will have the option to, if she sees somebody raise their hand, she can immediately, right away, reply to you, answer your question. Okay, so it looks like most of us are here. Welcome to another grade 1 to 2 session. For those of you who are new, my name is Gabby, and I will be your leader today for this particular session. And like I said, Janelle is behind the scenes over there, and she will be answering your questions on the chat. I can see there is lots of highs and questions. There's so many mosquitoes right now. Yeah, that's right. That's something, I love summer, but that's something I don't like about summer. I see an hola, hola. So, okay, let's start. I will share my screen for my presentation. Let's see. So, like we mentioned, we're doing pollen producers today. Look, it's a pretty bee. So this is what we're making today. It's a beautiful flower, or what is called a pollen producer. And do you see the balloon at the bottom? That is what's going to produce the pollen. So if I show you another one, this is a pretty green flower, but we can also make a purple one, depending on the colors you have. You can make the petals any color. Again, I just ask for construction paper or cardstock, but it can be any color you want. It's your own flower. I will be showing the ones that I made, my own samples ones, but it depends on what you have, the colors you have. You don't have to make the petals the same way I made it. You can make your own flower. It can be, you can invent it if you want. I call my flower the Gabby flower just because I made it and it's different. But yeah, just any colors you have, that is fine. So we will have, we will talk about pollination. I'll explain what that word means later. We will talk about the pollinators. So the animals that do this process, this work, job of pollination, and then we will go from there. Oops. So if you can see, let's go through really quickly, let's go through what you need first, because we just want to make sure that you have what you need instead, that way you don't have to go run and get it in the middle of the session. And then I'll start with explaining what pollinators are. So what you need, and I'll show you right here, is a toilet paper roll. There's different sizes. This one is bigger than this one. Whatever size is fine. Just one of them. If you have more than one, and after the session you would like to make more pollen producers, that's completely fine. Then you also need a balloon. I have two, green and pink, but you only need one. Glue stick, liquid glue in case you don't have a glue stick, tape, and look, it's a flower. It's a tape that's on a flower. See? How?
Gabby, we just have a quick question.
Yes.
If you do not have a balloon, what can we do instead?
Ooh, that's a good question. Ooh, I know. If you have a sock that you don't use anymore, you can use that one. It might not have the elasticity you need, the flexibility like this. You see how it stretches? But it will work too. If you have don't just grab a sock that you think it's good to use. Ask your adult, because that might be a good sock. If your adult might have a sock that you don't need anymore, because the reason why it needs to be old or you don't need anymore is because we're gonna cut it. So that's why it's important you ask your adult first if you can use that sock. But that's a good question. Thank you, Janelle. Is there any other questions?
Looks like we're good to go right now.
Perfect. Scissors, you need scissors too. As you can see, this one has a rounded tip. Please make sure it's a rounded tip one. If you don't have one like this, be careful when you use it. Be extra careful, or ask your adult for help when cutting things. And you need your construction paper. So I know I asked for...
Let's just pause for 1 second. Sorry.
Yes.
Could you just repeat what you need one more time?
Yes. So I'll restart. We need a toilet paper roll, an empty one. I mentioned you only need one, but I mentioned that there is many sizes. It's okay, whatever size you have. Even if you have, in the kitchens, we have paper towels, they're big rolls. You can cut that in half if you don't have a toilet paper roll. We also need balloons, just one. Liquid glue, glue stick, either or, doesn't matter which one. Just some people have a glue stick, some people have just white glue, that's fine. Tape, so just tape like this, because some things will need to be taped. Or if your glue is very strong, then you don't need tape, but I usually need tape. Scissors, and I mentioned the rounded tip. Cotton balls.
And we had a really smart idea from Jaden that if you don't have any pom-poms, you can if you don't have any cotton balls, you could use pom-poms instead.
Yes. Thank you. Jaden, was it?
Jaden.
Thank you, Jaden. I remember your name. Yeah, cotton balls or pom-poms. I think we also have pom-poms here. We might try the pom-poms later when we test our creation. And, oh, and the construction paper. So that's it. Just 6 materials. And I know I said construction paper, cardstock. Whatever you have is fine, or if you have white paper, that's fine too. You can color it on after you're done. But the reason why I asked for cardstock is because it's stronger. But again, like I mentioned, it's okay. If you have white paper or boxes, you can always be creative and you can color it on.
We just had a quick question, Gabby.
Yes.
What are cotton balls?
So cotton balls are these ones right here. They are, you usually use them in the bathroom. So maybe for when you get a cut. I actually have a cut right here because I was hiking and a tree branch scratched me. So then I use cotton balls to make sure I'm not bleeding anymore. So it's usually found in your bathroom, right, Janelle?
Yeah, and how many do you think you'll need for cotton balls or
pom-poms?
Yeah.
1 is enough because we're just gonna test it, but you might want more just in case you wanna continue testing it after, but 1 is enough for now, okay? So just 1, I have 2, but you only need 1. All right, any questions before I begin with the presentation? Any questions? It looks like we have just 1. Oh, we're good to go. That's just, they're saying cotton balls, perfect. Okay, so I'm just gonna share my screen again. If I'm allowed to, yeah, there we go. So today, like I mentioned, we're going to talk about pollen producers. What is pollen? What is pollination? What is a pollinator? Those are all new words, weird words. So we're gonna go through what they are. So can anybody tell me what this animal is? Oh, you can't see, sorry. Let me share it with you. Ta-da, there it is. So this, let's say, oh, people are saying in the chat what it is. Remember, there is many types of bees. There's just not one. I want to see if you get it right. Oh, so what are they saying, Janelle?
So a lot of you are saying honeybees. I've seen hornet. I've seen bumblebee, Tony bee. Is there a Tony bee? Miles, what is a Tony bee?
Yes, explain to us first, please.
Jaden, what's the answer? I don't know if that's the end. Jaden, we're just seeing if we can name like what kind of bee this might be. And then in the Q&A, I see BBs. Regular bee.
Perfect. Okay. So, like I mentioned, there's many types of bees, and today I have a special guest that will let you know what the difference between a honeybee and a bumblebee is. Because this one right here in the picture that you see, it's a honeybee. But do you know the difference? I just see a bee and I'm like, oh, it's a bee. But today we have a special guest. Her name is BB the bee, and we're excited for you to meet her. She will explain the difference between a honeybee and a bumblebee. Let's see if you can see her. There she is. Hi, BB the bee.
Hi, Gabby.
How are you?
Good. Did you know a bumblebee is a big and fluffy bee, but a honeybee, just like me, we're a bit smaller. We're not so fluffy.
Oh, okay. And question, do you both make honey, or is it just a honeybee that makes honey?
Well, we actually both make honey, but did you know that I make quite a bit of honey, and I can fly 8,000 kilometers in just 7 weeks? That's like from going from Canada all the way to Japan.
Really? Okay. And do you like people going close to you while you're really busy at work?
not really. Humans are kind of scary because we're so small. But you know, if you see us flying around, just be careful. We always love to make honey and pollinate your flowers.
Oh, nice. Thank you, BB the Bee. So BB the Bee will be joining us in and out when we have questions. I can see there is a question in the chat. So where's the recording going to be? We have a YouTube channel, and when we're sending the surveys that we send at the end of every session for feedback, we will have the link right there. Of course, this particular recording, the Pollen Producers one, won't be there today. We usually wait about 5 business days, 5 whole days for it to go on the YouTube channel, but we will give you the link. You will actually find all of the other recordings from previous weeks. Someone said, I hate bees, they sting. Do you know that they only sting when they feel threatened? So when they're scared. They don't sting you for no reason. It's only when they're scared or when they have to defend themselves from other animals. So, you know, they're too little. They need something to fight because other animals can go and get them. So that's why they have a stinger, but not all of them sting. So they don't sting for no reason. They only sting when they're scared or frightened. Okay, so now we're going to talk about pollination. So to talk about that, let me turn on my second camera. To talk about that, I have a flower. So let me spotlight the flower camera. So now that we met BB the Bee, we're going to talk about pollination. And look at this beautiful flower right here. Yes, Miles, you're right. Some bees actually die when they sting, which is very sad. That's why BB the Bee mentioned that humans are a little scary for bees, so please keep your distance away from them, because if they get scared and they sting you, again, it's not their fault. They're trying to defend themselves. If they sting you, some of them die, which is very sad. So be careful. Okay, so pollination is a process where a pollinator, such as a bee, like BB the Bee, they go from flower to flower, and they go and put pollen. Again, I'll explain these words, from flower to flower, and that's how other flowers grow. So pollinators can be bees, and they can also be hummingbirds. Have you seen the hummingbirds in flowers with the little, are they called beaks? Do you know? The hummingbirds, they take their pollen, and they actually have a tongue that goes in the flower to take the pollen, the nectar. So in a flower, we have many parts. We have the stem, which is this long, green, strong structure, and that holds the whole flower together. That's why it has to be long and strong, because it has to support, it has to hold the whole flower together. At the bottom, so this flower is cut, as you can see, but there is roots, and that's what sucks the water, and it goes up, 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 up to the flower. And that's how flowers get their water, from the stem and the roots on the stem. Of course, this flower, there is a cut because that's the ones we buy at the store, but that's how they get their flowers. We also have the part of the leaves. Right here, there is 1, 2, there's many more leaves right here, and they're green. The leaves are what gets the sunlight to the flower. So when there is sun, the sunlight gets to the leaf, and the leaf transports or moves this, the nutrients that it gets from the sunlight to the flower. Again, water goes in from the stem to the flower, and the leaves, the green leaves, are the ones that take the sunlight. Every plant needs water and sunlight. The amount or the amount of sunlight or water each plant needs depends. It's different for every plant. A fun fact is that something I didn't know is that cactus. Does anybody have a cactus at home? I want to know. Because they're actually really interesting. Cactus, they live in the desert, right? Some of us have it at home, but they're from the desert. And guess what? They can live without water for a whole year. It's amazing. So that means that maybe the amount of water they need, the amount of water they need is not the same as this pretty flower. This flower, if it goes without water for maybe more than 3 days, it will die because it needs the water, but every plant is different. So we have the stem, we have the leaves. Now we have the flower itself. So you can see it here. This right here, can anybody tell me what it is, what I'm holding right now? I want to see if you know what it is. A petal, yes, correct. Almira said a petal. Very good, Almira. So a petal is what has the color, gives the color to the flower. Do you know that flowers, they actually attract all these pollinators like Bibi the bee? Enoch said bats. Bats are also pollinators. Good luck, Enoch. Because they take the nectar, again, I'll explain that. They take it and they move it somewhere else. So the petals, they have colors. And because of the color and the smell they give, they attract. So they bring pollinators. So they bring honeybees, bumblebees, bats, hummingbirds. They bring all of those and attract them. It's like a sign, a big sign that says, hey, this is a restaurant. Come eat your nectar here, your pollen. So we have the petal now. So to review, we have the stem. This is a long stem. We have the leaves, green. It brings the sunlight to the flower. The stem brings the water to the flower, STEM. Then we have the petal. I have one right here. Petals, PETALS. And now we're gonna go inside the flower and see what it has, because the petals, yeah, they attract the pollinators, but they don't necessarily have the pollen, right? So inside, you can see inside here, there is another part of the flower. It's called the stamen. I'll give you the word, stamen, STAMEN. The stamen is what has the pollen, and also this is where they get the nectar. So it's a sugary liquid. So it tastes like sugar for the animals, the pollinators, and that's what they eat. While they're here on the flower, a pollinator will collect the pollen that's stuck in the stamen. So it sticks to their bodies. I'll show you what I mean. I'll share my screen and I'll show you what I mean, because I find it really interesting how they can stick the pollen gets stuck on their bodies. There we go. So like that, like we see the bee there, the pollen, which is little tiny powdery dust, it gets stuck to the animal, and that's how they put pollen from one flower to another. And the pollen, those powdery dust that you see on the bee, it helps another plant grow. That's how we get more plants and flowers, the pretty flowers. Just like this, a garden of flowers. And with the pollen, so let me go back to my screen of the plant. And then inside the stamen, so more at the bottom, right here, this is sticky. And this sticky part of the flower is called a pistil, PISTIL. And what they do is, again, let me show you. I'll show you in another flower. Right here, it's sticky. And what it does is, when a bee, for example, a pollinator like the bee, is flying from one flower to another, this part gets all the pollen, the dusty, the powdery dust, and it gets stuck in here. And from the pistil, because it gets stuck, it absorbs it, it gets it inside, and then gets it inside the stem, and that's how, and all the way to the roots. Again, this doesn't have roots because it's a cut flower, but that's how then it grows into another beautiful flower or plant. So that's pollination. Pollination, again, is just a process or a job for pollination. And the pollinator is the animal itself, like the bee or the bat or the hummingbird, and they take pollen, again, the powdery dust from one flower or one plant to another, and that's how it grows, with the pollen. So today, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna move my flower away and my petals, and we're going to make a beautiful pollen producer. I'll show you mine. So this is mine. I made two. As you can see, one is green with yellow, and the other one is like a tulip. It's purple. So this is what I made right here. Let's look at it. That way we know, we visualize, we can see what we're making, okay? Before we start, I want to ask you a question. And that will be, are you ready to start? I will give you 10 seconds to answer that question. And again, if you don't see the poll pop up on your screen, please just let me know in the chat if you can. Otherwise, it looks like, oh yeah, it looks like most of you are ready to start. That's great. For those of you who are not ready yet, please let me know and let Janelle know if you need any more help before we continue. Like if you're looking for something else, we can give you some time. Again, you need construction paper, toilet paper roll, balloon, glue, tape, cotton balls, and scissors. Okay. Okay, so I'll give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. It looks like most of you are ready to start, so I'll begin. To begin this activity, I want you all to take your toilet paper roll. Remember, it's an empty one. Again, if you have the long one because it's a paper towel one, that's fine. Just cut it in half. And again, every toilet paper roll is different sizes. So if you find that you have a smaller one, like this one, that's fine. We can use whatever, whichever toilet paper roll you have. I have this white paper here because it's so that you can see my, my session better, but I'm not using the white paper. So now that we have the toilet paper roll, I want you all to get your green construction paper or cardstock. Again, if you are using something else, this is, at the end of the session, you can color it with the green because this is going to be the stem of your pollen producer. Again, we're making the stem. This is our first step. So with the construction paper, the green one, we want it to be green. It can be light green, dark green. If you have white paper or you're using cardboard, that's fine. You can color it in after the session. From the shortest side of your rectangle, you see the paper is a rectangle. From the shortest side, we're gonna place our toilet paper roll right there from one of the sides, just like you see in the camera. And with that pencil, which I'm looking, where did my pencil go? With a pencil or a pen or a marker, whatever you have in hand, you're going to trace the area you need. Thank you, Janelle. So, as you can see, my toilet paper goes all the way to here. Just trace that part because we're gonna cut this area like this. And then we have to cover the toilet paper, right? So that's why we're just gonna check how long we need to cover the toilet paper, how long of the construction paper, and then we're gonna cut it. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to finish. Again, what I did was from one of the corners, I traced up to where I would need from the construction paper to cover my toilet paper. And now I'm gonna cut. try to make a straight line, as straight as possible, starting from the trace you made, and go slowly. This, I always say go slowly because that will make sure that you have a straight line. If you rush, then it will go like this. But it's okay, as straight as you can, that's fine. I'm going to go slow because I want to make sure that it's straight. And there is no rush. There we go. So don't throw the one that you have to spare, don't throw it away. We're gonna use it as the leaves because it's green too, right? Just put it aside for now. So now we have the shortest cut, your paper is cut. Just the shortest one you're taking, the longer one that you discarded or put away. We don't need it for now. So with this one, this is how we're going to cover the toilet paper roll, right? So we're gonna start with our glue stick. I want you all to get your glue stick now. Perfect. Again, what I have here with me is glue stick, toilet paper roll, construction paper that's been cut to fit nicely on the toilet paper roll. Perfect. Oh, that's stuck. There we go. Again, this, what we're making right now, is going to be the stem, S-T-E-M. And talking about STEM, this particular activity is something we do in the camps when we do in-person camps for the STEM Explorers Camp, because we're exploring science and biology, the life of a plant, and what pollination does. Okay, so we're going to just add glue to one side. We're going to be adding glue little by little. And at the end, as you can see here, it glued perfectly. But then this one, I actually taped it. You see, there's some tape. We're going to see if you need to tape it or not. It just depends again on the glue, on the paper itself. Every paper, every glue is different. So we're going to start. Place your toilet paper on the glued side that you just put glue on. If you're using your liquid glue, be careful because we don't want to make the paper soggy, because if you add too much, again, it's liquid, it might become soggy and then you might have to repeat this step. So again, press slightly. It's glued. I'm shaking it. It's glued. Okay, perfect. And we continue. We're going to do it little by little because we want to make sure that it sticks properly. If you just start doing it all, the glue by this point is going to dry and then it might not glue properly. Again, add some glue. Roll it. We're adding some glue and we're rolling. That's what we're doing right now. Rolling. Again, more. You can add a lot of glue because this paper, I'm using cardstock right now because it's stronger, so you might just need more glue. If you're using construction paper, you might need less glue. And more glue. We want to cover the full toilet paper roll. And I've covered it, you see? I still have some left. What you can do is continue gluing until you cover completely, or you can cut this part. What I'm going to do to make it easier is I'm going to continue gluing. Again, roll, glue and roll, and glue, and finally roll. For the last part, the end, please add a little bit more glue because we want to make sure that it sticks together because it's the end of your roll. Perfect. Again, press lightly to the end. Let's just press. Moving the whole camera. Perfect. So see, this one glued perfectly. If you find that it's not gluing perfectly, that's fine. That's why you can use the tape, which it's funny because my tape is flower and we're talking about flowers today. How convenient. So we're just adding some tape just to make sure that it stays properly. I'm just gonna add one piece. If you wanna add two and cover the whole line, that's fine, but it will stay together. So now we have the stem. Good job. I'm going to take a break and give you a 20-second break for those of you who are still rolling and gluing to catch up, okay? In the meantime, I think Bibi the bee has another fun fact for us. Where is Bibi the bee? Do you know that the wings of the bees, they're the ones that make the buzzing sound. You know, when you think of a bee, you think of the bzzz, the buzzing sound. That's because of their wings, because they move so fast like this. They have, they make a noise. It's actually not, I would think that it's actually they're making their noise, just how we talk. I thought it was their mouth or something, but it turns out it isn't, it's their wings. I'm learning so much in this session. Oh, we have her here, Bibi the bee. Hello, Bibi the bee.
Did you know that I make honey? We talked about this all before. And can you all guess how much honey that I make? Gabby, how much do you think?
Well, in what period of time? How long?
7 weeks.
7
just
weeks.
Just over a month.
So just over a month, that's quite a long time, right? We work, we go to school, a lot of hours in more than a month. So I'm going to say that you make a whole tub of honey in 7 weeks.
Oh my goodness, Gabby. I wish I could make a whole tub of honey in 7 weeks. But did you know it takes me 50,000 flowers to only make this 1 teaspoon of honey? Do you see this? I have to hold this funny, but I only make 1 teaspoon. I wish I could make a tub.
Oh my goodness, Bibi the bee. You only, can I see the teaspoon? Bibi the bee only makes this in 7 weeks, a teaspoon. So for you to get a tub of honey, can you imagine how many bees have to work for that for so long? Think about that.
Please be nice. You know, you guys are all making pollen producers right now. I would love it if you planted some flowers in your garden and maybe I'll come and visit.
Yeah, so it's summer. That means we can plant flowers in your garden. You can help your adult in your garden. I know there's community gardens. Ask your adult maybe to go to those community gardens and check out some of those plants. Please be careful. I know I showed you with this flower, pretty flower, what the inside says. Please don't do that with flowers unless you have permission to do so. Like if your adult gives you a flower to maybe check it out inside and see it for yourself, that's fine. And that's what curiosity is for. But please don't do it unless you don't have unless you have permission.
I also saw in the chat while I was sitting with Janelle and watching Gabby make this craft that Kaden says hi. So hi, Kaden.
Hi, Kaden.
Okay, bye now.
Bye-bye, Bibi the bee. Okay, so I think that gives you time for everybody to catch up. So again, let me thank you, Janelle, for spotlighting my video. So we made the stem. Let's set it aside for now. And now we're going to be making the leaves. So let's take, you know how we cut the green paper, green construction paper, cardstock. We cut some of it. Let's take the other part back to us. If for some reason you throw it away or it's not like what you want another green, lighter or darker, that's fine. You can use another construction paper or cardstock, but I'm using the one that we just used for covering my stem. Now with a marker, I'm going to use a black one. You can use a pencil. I'm going to make the leaves. So you see how I made my leaves here. And then I made leaves like this too, my green leaves. Again, every flower is different. Not one flower is the same as the other, and you can make your own flower. I call this one Gabby's flower because it's unique. So again, what we're making right now is the leaf like this. Again, you can make it circular, like a curve, or you can make it like a little triangle, like a cone, like this. I'm going to be making it this shape. So it's like waves, longer waves. Take your time to make the leaves. We're not in a rush, and I'm going to be making 8 leaves. So again, like a wave, like a long wave. It's like a surfer person is here. So let's make 6 of them. I'm sorry, 8 of them. I keep thinking 6. 8. So I've made 2. And you can also make them not on this, going on the same direction. You can make them go to the left, to the right. Have fun with that. I'm going to make 2 to the right 2 to the left, now 2 to the right again. If you find that you don't have any more room, you can just continue with the other side of your cardstock or construction paper. Just make sure you leave some space because you're going to be cutting this, right? To the left, to the right. How many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just need one more. Let's do it to the left. Perfect. I have my 8 leaves. I'm going to give you some time to catch up. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 leaves. I made them going in different directions, so left and right, just because that is unique for a flower. If, again, you don't have to make them like mine, like little weights, you can make them, I'll show you. You don't have to do this, but I'll show you how. You can make them going like a curve, like a pretty leaf like that, or however you want, okay? So I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to finish your 8 leaves. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. So now this step is going to be the same for the next 8 leaves. It's just cutting them on the outline that you created. Just follow the outline. Take your time. We're not in a rush. I want you to be very careful when cutting. Now you have your outline, follow your outline, and have fun cutting. In the meantime, I'm going to ask you a question. Maybe some of you are on the same step as me, maybe some of you are not, but I'm going to ask you if you're on the same step, which is we're cutting the leaves now. So you can answer yes or no. We're cutting the leaves. That's the step we're on right now. And it's 8 of them, so it's going to be the same step for the 8. So it looks like most of you are on the same step. Continue on this step, please. It's just cutting the leaves. Making a lot of noise because I'm cutting, but okay, I'm gonna give you 5 more seconds to answer that. You can if you cannot see the poll pop up on your screen, let Janelle know if you're not on the same step, and that way I will know and maybe slow down. But it looks like pretty much all of you are on the same step. So 5 more seconds to answer that poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. So for those of you who are not in the same step, this was step 1, just covering your toilet paper with green construction paper. Thank you, Janelle. And that was your stem. Then now we're making the leaves. It's 8 of them, and you can make them any shape you want. It just has to be green because leaves are green. So I'm going to continue to cut my 8 leaves. Let's see. Bibi the bee, how are you doing?
Well, Gabby, this is quite fun watching you build this, and I'm kind of wondering, what are the balloons used for? I've never really used balloons.
Yeah, good question. So we're going to go step by step. Right now we're making the leaves, Bibi the bee, but the balloon will act as the, you know how I said on the, here, you know the flower, the stem, at the bottom we have roots, and the pollen, it captures the top, the stamen and the pistil, it captures or gets the pollen that you bring to the flower because you get it on your body, and then it goes all the way down to the bottom, and that's where the pollen gets stuck, and that's how it produces more flowers. So the balloon, which it can be any color, I actually brought green too, just so that it can continue as a stem, will act as that capturer of the pollen.
That's really cool. I've seen some people asking because Janelle's been telling them that they'll be launching the pollen. Is
Yes.
that true? Will I be able to catch them?
Yes, good job, Vivi the Bee. So we will be capturing the pollen. Why don't I show you with a model I made, my sample one, what I mean, while everybody continues cutting. So I'm going to break my cotton ball in half because it's a little too big.
The other side, Gabby.
Oh, thank you. You love pollen, don't you?
Nice.
So I cut it, I ripped it in half just because, again, this is small, so it might get stuck and I don't want it to get stuck.
No.
So this is a small cotton ball. I'm gonna put it inside. And then with my balloon, are you ready, Bibi the Bee?
Oh my gosh, no.
1, 2, 3. Oh, it got stuck.
No, dear. It's okay. I think all of yours will work much better.
Again, let's try again. And if it doesn't work, we're gonna try later.
I'm not the best catcher, you know.
Yes, you are. You love pollen. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh dear. Let's try again later.
It's okay. Gabby will try again later. Gabby, can I have that flower you had before?
This one?
Yeah.
Have fun, Bibi the
Thank you
Bee.
very
Perfect. Okay, by now I think all of you should have your leaves cut. I'm not ready yet, but let me cut it. I can cut it faster. Choo-choo. For those of you who are done, I'm gonna ask you another question in the poll chat. And if you cannot see the question pop up again, can you let Janelle know in the chat? But I want to know if you like bees, like Bibi the Bee. I want to know who likes them. I'll be honest, when I was younger, I didn't like bees. I thought, again, like somebody had mentioned, that they all sting and like that they hurt and stuff like that. So I was very scared of them. But then when I learned more, just like we're doing today, you're learning more about the pollinators, like the bee, I learned that they only do it when they're scared. So if I don't go close to them, I don't bother them, they won't sting me. If I leave space between me and a bee, they won't sting me. I know sometimes the bees get close to you when you're drinking like a sugary juice, a sugary drink, but that means is the only reason is because it can, they see that it's sugary, they can smell it, so they want to get to you and drink some of your sugary drink because it's like a nectar, right? Like the nectar that I mentioned they like from the flower. That's the reason why they go to the flowers to drink the nectar. And in the process of drinking that nectar, they get the pollen stuck to their bodies. Okay, so I see that most of you do like bees. Yay! I'm happy. For those of you who don't, I hope that after this session you do. Again, they're not scary. I know they're insects. And for example, me, I'm scared of insects, but bees, I'm not scared of them anymore. Okay, so I have my 8 leaves. I hope you all do too. Perfect. So let's take our stem again. So now I want you all to have your stem and your 8 leaves and a glue stick, which is where my glue stick, I found it. Okay. With each leaf, we're going to glue them on one of the sides, on the ends. See, just choose one. It doesn't matter which one. One of them will be, the balloon will go on. The other side will be the leaves and the petals, the flower itself. So choose one, and then we're going to start gluing them. Again, we're going to add some glue to the tip, to the bottom of your leaf, just to the little bottom. Maybe one finger of your, the one finger, so that size kind of thing should be enough. And then look what I'm doing carefully. I'm gluing it to the side. See, it stays. So we're going to be making this process all around, leaving a little bit of space in between so that each leaf has space. There is 8. If you find that you actually put 6 and you don't have any more space for your leaves, that's fine. You don't have to use the other 2 or how many leaves you have left. So this is the same process for the 8 leaves. Glue the bottom of your leaf. add some glue, sorry, and then glue it to your stem, to the top of your stem, and press gently.
And Gabby and I will stay around for another 10 or so minutes after 12 o'clock, just either if we want to finish the activity or if any of you have any questions, so don't feel rushed.
Yeah.
Again, this will also be posted at a later time, but Gabby and I will be here for at least another 10 minutes just so we can finish the craft with you all. And if you are on a schedule and need to leave right at 12 o'clock, that's okay. But if you have time to stay with us all, then we would be happy to have you all stay with us as we finish the crafts.
Yes, so this is the same process, just adding glue to the bottom of your leaf and then gluing it to the top of your stem. So it looks like I used 6. I don't need my other 2. Looks like it's good. If you find, like me, that your leaves are falling, just add more glue or try to press for a longer time so that it goes nicely on your stem. Again, press, just be careful. Sorry, you cannot see it. Press. One more, just need one more. I think that one fell. If you have sticky fingers like me right now because of the glue, you'll find that it won't stick properly. So maybe get your adult to help. There we go. So now I have my leaves here. Now we're going to make the petals. I didn't need 3 of them. Now I can make another flower with this one. Perfect. So I have my stem and my leaves. Let's put this aside, and now we're going to make the petals. Where is my petals? There we go. So choose any color you want. I'm going to just choose purple because it's my favorite color. But any color will do, because it's going to be the top of your flower. Bibi, can I have the flower back? Perfect. Thank you, Bibi. So here's a flower, the petal. I made it purple. It's going to be like a tulip because I love tulips. And now I'm going to trace my petals. So again, you can trace them however you want, but this is the shape I'm making today. Like a little, what do you call that? You know?
A little point at the top?
A little point at the top, yeah.
They're like fatter raindrops.
Yes, thank you, Janelle. I'm going to be making 4. 4, I think, is enough. If you made them smaller in shape, in size, sorry, you can make more than 4. So again, we're going to follow our trace, our outline, and we're going to cut. We're almost done. All we have to do now is a balloon, and then you can test your creation, your pollen producer. Oh.
And
So,
I've had a couple of you ask that, do we have to make the pollen producer launch the pollen? No, you do not. So if you don't have a balloon or if you don't want to cut up an old stalk, that's okay. You can just make a pretty flower and you can decorate that however you want. And then if you really wanted to, you can make, you could use the pom-poms and try and stick it out of your flower using maybe something like straw.
yeah, good idea, Janelle, thank you. Be creative. Part of being a STEM explorer, science, technology, engineering, and math, is that you are creative and you create your own, you put your own ideas into your creation, your project. So I made 4 petals. They're not, so they're all different sizes. That's fine. Every flower is different. And now I want you to take your stem and leaves again. Again, your toilet paper roll. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with the leaves, but this time with the petals. So we're going to glue them, right? Again, all you need to glue is the bottom of your petal. So like this, to the bottom, because that's the part you're gluing to your stem. So be careful because you already have your leaves there. If you find that your leaves are falling, just add some tape, that's fine. And then I'm adding my petal very carefully. Press, press, press. My second one. Glue at the bottom, just the size of my finger maybe. And then press, press, press. Gently, we don't want the, oh, see that one fell. We don't want the leaves to fall. So it's inside. I'll show you what it looks inside in just a second. I'm just pressing gently. So see, this one needs to be glued a little bit more. Press, press, press.
And while you guys are all making that, I have a bee fact for all of you.
Oh, what is it?
Did you all know that bees communicate, so they talk to each other using the waggle dance? And so they waggle and wiggle all around, and they do this funny dance to tell all their fellow bees where a good spot to collect pollen and nectar is. And so if you Google, with your adult's permission, a bee doing the waggle dance, you'll see this really funny dance that the bees do.
Oh, I would love to see that. Maybe I'll Google that later. So I'm using my third petal. Glue, glue, glue. Glue, glue, glue. Pressure. There we go. And then I'm going to add my fourth petal. Again, glue at the bottom. It's the same process as the leaves. And then carefully glue it to the inside. So what I do usually is I fold it, because see, now it's getting busier inside. Fold it a little bit and insert it, put it inside. Perfect. So now we have our flower. I know it's noon. We only have one more step, and then we can test it. Okay, so we have our stem, our leaves, and our petals now. Now I want you all to take your balloon, and we are going to tie the end. We don't need to blow the balloon. There is no air, as you can see. We just need to tie the end. So maybe you'll need the help of your adult for this. But what I do, if you want to do it on your own, is with 2 fingers, I wrap the end of my 2 fingers. Then I bring it to the middle of my fingers, in between my 2 fingers. So that's why balloons are so elastic. And under it, and voila, I have my knot. So we just need a knot at the end. That's all we need. I'm going to give you a few more seconds for that. Maybe your adult can help you, but let me show you again. The end of the balloon, 2 fingers, my index and my middle finger. Wrap the 2 fingers, go back to the top. At the top, in between the 2 fingers, with the end, the little squiggly thing like this. Going to put it at the bottom. Comes out. That's a knot. So that's what I did. And then after you have the knot, you see the top of the balloon right here. We're going to cut here. So with your scissor, just a little cut, just a tip. You're going to cut here. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Like this. And then this is what you're going to have.
And we're just going to do a quick pull because we know that we sped up a little bit just because we're so close to 12. But again, Gabby and I are going to stay around a little longer. So if you have the time to stay with us, then perfect. But if you do need to leave, that's completely okay. We'll make sure to post these a little later on. And so the poll asks, is Gabby going a little too fast right now? And so we'll also be giving you a little bit of time to catch up. But Gabby, I think BB the Bee wants to tell you a fact this time.
Yes. Let me.
Hi, Gabby.
Hello, BB the Bee. Let me just spotlight your video.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You're in camera.
That's really weird. But did you know that bees can't see the color red?
What?
Yeah. When we look at red, we actually see the color black.
So when you go on a rose, a red rose, you see it as a black rose?
Yep.
Whoa, that's a fun fact. Thank you, BB the Bee.
We can see the colors yellow and blue pretty easily.
Okay.
But we don't see red. It's like many of you know that's a primary color for humans. But we don't see it. So if your favorite color is red, let's Well,
I don't know what to
I'm
do.
sorry. I don't know what it looks like. I can't help you, I guess. I don't know. I wish I knew what red looks like.
Oh, that's okay, Bibi the Bee.
Okay, well, hopefully everyone is caught up.
Yes.
And I'll see you later.
See you later. Bye-bye. So I'll repeat this step again, the balloon step. The one before that is just the petals. So it was the same process as the leaves. Let me spotlight this camera there. The same process as the leaves, just gluing the bottom, adding some glue, and then gluing it to the stem very carefully. And now we're doing the balloon. So I tied a knot to the end. Again, you might need your adult's help for this, but at the top, we're cutting the tip. So I'm going to repeat this step. The tip of the balloon, just a small cut right here.
For those of you that are done, I would love it if you could put it in the chat what your favorite color flower is. So maybe it's red and BB can't see that color, but what is your favorite color flower, if you have one?
So you see there is an opening now. So again, I'm using my green to continue with the stem. So now what you're going to do is we're going to wrap this on the other side of your stem. Again, you might need your adult's help for this, or you can do it on your own if you wish to. Take your time. So you can see it's a little hard. There we go. Oh, my one little fail. That's okay. I can glue it again. And now we have the bottom of your stem. So this is where your pollen will go, which is your cotton ball. So we're going to pretend that my cotton ball is my pollen. Again, if your cotton ball is very big, rip it in half. And I want it to be this tiny small one. I'm going to show you. My cotton ball is this size right now. Cut it in half or rip it in half. And I'm getting cotton all over me, but that's okay. If you still find that it's still too big, just rip it in half again. Now, Bibi the Bee would love this. I have pollen all over me. Again, we're going to pretend that the cotton ball is the pollen. You're going to put it inside of your stem of your flower. And see, I don't know if you can see. Oh, right there. My cotton ball is right there inside. And if we try and shoot it, let's see. Is Bibi the Bee there? Let's see if this time it works, Bibi the Bee. Again, we're...
Gabby, I told you this before. I'm not the best catcher of pollen. I go to the flowers. The pollen doesn't come to me.
True, true. But let's see if you can catch it, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Again, if you have pom-poms, you can use that too. It's right inside. 1, 2, oh, 3. Let me
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
And
This is why pollen stays in the flowers, and I go to
Yes.
the pollen. This is why the pollen doesn't come.
to you.
This is why I go to the pollen, and the pollen doesn't come to me. Because that would make my job so much easier, everyone.
So it looks like my pollen got stuck.
My duckling, we hope you have lots of fun.
1, 2. Oh, it went away.
Oh,
You
no.
didn't catch it, Bibi
I'm
the
so
Bee.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I got
That's
distracted.
okay. But see, that's the pollen producer. It gets the pollen out. You can try it with, if you have a bee puppet or a hummingbird puppet, a teddy bear, they can catch it with you. But
Yay, Miles! I saw it worked for you.
yay!
Too bad I wasn't there to catch it. Oh my
Oh,
goodness
yeah.
gracious me.
Maybe your siblings or your adult can help you catch it. You can try with them.
Oh.
So Emily, I will repeat the step of the balloon again, but this is the end of it. Again, I will repeat steps if you wish to stay, but this was your pollen producer. I hope you liked it. And I want you all to share your creations with Bibi the Bee, Janelle, and I. And you can send it to summer.campsupdate.ca for a chance to be featured, to be seen on the Facebook page, our Facebook page for the State Summer Camps. So Janelle will type it on the chat. Please ask your adult if you would like, if they can take a picture of their pollen producer, like mine, and we send it to summer.camps@say.ca. That's the same email that your parents, your adult already has, that they get those emails from us, the supply list and everything. And they can send the picture to us and we can feature it on Facebook if you wish to do so.
That's right. So if you all send your lovely pollen producers just like this one to the email that we put in the chat, then I can see it, Gabby can see it, Janelle can see it, and guess what? You might get an email with the help of Janelle or Gabby typing for me because I can't type.
Yes.
Maybe I will respond if I get to see your wonderful pollen producer.
Yeah. Bibi the Bee, do you have anything else to say, or are you going to go work now?
Well, I hope you all have lots of fun. And I have to go get all the pollen now because Gabby kept launching it everywhere.
Yes, it's everywhere now.
I think she'll help you all finish that last step. But
Yeah.
I will see you all soon.
Bye-bye, Bibi the Bee.
Goodbye.
Again, I will repeat the last step, which is the balloon. So let me just get another balloon from my many supplies. I have a bag of balloons with me. I'll get the green again. So let me just spotlight my bottom camera so you can see what I'm doing. So here's my balloon, and I'm repeating the step again. So with my 2 fingers, and again, if you need the help from your adult for this particular step, the tying of the knot, that's fine. It takes lots of practice to do this. So the index finger, middle finger, I'm going to wrap the end of my balloon around, and I'm going to come back to the top. At the top, in between my 2 fingers, I'm going to insert the end, goes below. You see how it went below it? And now I can get rid of, so take out my fingers and like this, that's the knot. Again, you can ask your adult for this particular, for help for this particular step. But now that we have our knot at the top of the balloon, we will cut it. So just the tip, just a little bit. You see here was just a little bit. I didn't cut it in half or anything, just the very tip. With your scissor, cut, and you should have this. Okay, now because I used my stem already for the other balloon, so you see it's like this, I will pretend that this toilet paper is a stem. It's already with the flowers and everything, and I will wrap it to the top. Oh, again, you might need to open it a lot. It's just so it covers the bottom of your toilet paper roll of your stem, and it should go easily on that. This will be the part where your pollen gets stuck, and then you release it. So the bees and the pollinators can continue their work of pollination. So if you have any other questions, you would like me to repeat any steps, where's my flower? Thank you. You would like me to repeat any steps, I will stay here, and Janelle too. Bibi the bee has gone to work on her pollination because that's important. Without pollination, we wouldn't have any flowers and plants. Can you believe that? So bees have a very important job. I will stay in here. I see that some people are saying thank you and bye-bye. We'll see you in the next session. The next session we have is on Friday for name jar. I hope I see some of you there. And Janelle will be the one reading the name jar, the story time. And the following session, Monday, again, 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., we have fish patterns. Sorry, Play-Doh. My apologies, Play-Doh. We're going to be making Play-Doh. And after that, the following Monday, it's going to be fish patterns. So a cool math activity with Janelle. And I hope you can join us for all of that. I know some of you have been in every single session, or most of them. I love seeing that. But before I go, and since we don't have any questions, I don't see anything here, I'm going to ask you a question for those of you who are here. What is your favorite flower? I want to know that.
And for those of you that are done, we hope that your pollen producer worked. And if not, we hope that you made a beautiful flower.
Yes.
You are more than welcome to leave the meeting now if you would like to. If not, you can answer this poll question Gabby put up. And you are free to ask Gabby and I any questions that you'd like, and we'll stick around for these next 2 more minutes, but you are free to go if you would like.
Thank you, Janelle. So I know I put some, so the options are for, you can choose many options. You don't have to only choose one. I have sunflowers, daisies, roses, orchids, lilies, tulips, and other. So for other, if you have chosen other, I want to know what it is, because there is just so many kinds of flowers. It wouldn't fit in this list. And if you don't see the pop-up of your poll of the question, please answer if you would like in the chat, and Janelle will see it and she will tell me. Emily, she's saying bye, and bye-bye, Emily. Miles is saying, oh my goodness, Miles, how do you say those words?
Peony and chrysanthemum.
Oh, okay. Wow. I'm going to Google those flowers later. I don't think I've ever heard of those. I know we have a co-worker who loves plants, and she has a lot of plants in her house. And I see some of you like lilies. Most of you actually love roses. Roses are beautiful. It's just sad that Bibi the Bee couldn't see the red, huh? Red roses are beautiful. Pink tulips. I love tulips too. I've been to a tulip garden. They're beautiful. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, most of you like roses. Some of you like sunflowers. Sunflowers are beautiful. It's summer, so we get to see all those flowers outside. All right, so it looks like nobody has questions, so that's great. And we've asked you some questions. Do you have some questions for them, Janelle?
No, but so Gabby and I will just stay for 1 more minute. If any of you wanted to type questions to us, we'll answer maybe 2 questions if you have any before we go. But if not, you are more than welcome to leave, and we hope to see you all next time.
Yes. Again, hopefully we'll see you on Friday for story time, or Monday, Friday, next Friday for Play-Doh, because next Monday we won't have a session because it's a holiday. So day off. Hopefully you get to enjoy the summer sunshine on that day, but we will see you again on either this Friday or next Friday if you're joining us again. Perfect. I will turn off my camera for now, but we will stay on in case you have a question, you would like me to repeat a step, or you're just wanting to chat with us. But I will turn off both of my cameras and I will mute myself. But again, we're still here. See you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.